Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Naturally Yours podcast. I am your host, Ty the Natural, and on today I have a very special guest by the name of Ashton Elliott, who is our guru in real estate, and he is going to answer everything that you want to know about this industry. So, help me welcome my special guest. Hey,
Yo,
Ashton.
how's it going?
It's going great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I slept good last night, so I'm feeling good this morning.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
Sleep is so important.
Yeah.
I did not want to get up this morning, but I did anyway.
Yep.
So, Ashton, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience? Let them know a little bit about you before we get started.
Yeah. So my name's Ashton Elliott. I have been in the real estate industry about 5 years now, and I, after the fourth year that I was in real estate, I started a company called Posting Agent, where we're now helping out real estate agents on social media and posting for them. So a little bit of mix of doing real estate in the background, and then also managing. Right now we have over 2,600 users that are part of Posting Agent. So kind of managing both, which has been awesome. So yeah, it's a little bit about me. And it's a little introduction. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. That's amazing. Congratulations,
Thank you.
Ashton.
Yeah.
You're welcome. So, Ashton, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you ended up in real estate? Why don't you take us back to before you started real estate? Like maybe graduating high school. Did you happen to attend college?
I did not go to college. No.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's start as soon as you graduated from high school. Tell us a little bit about your story.
Okay, yeah. So I was a senior in high school. It's probably like midway through my senior year of high school, and at the time, I had a girlfriend, and I was like, her birthday was coming up, and I was like, man, I need to make some money for her birthday present because I have zero money. So I looked for a job, and I found a real estate agent who was offering a job to put up his open house signs over the weekend for his open houses. So I took that job, and I would pretty much just drive a van around the city and put up his open houses or open house signs and point it, of course, to the open house. And I always knew that I didn't want to go to college, and I knew that something was going to like kind of pop up for me. I always was interested in real estate, but didn't know that I wanted to become a realtor. But when I started doing these open houses, open house signs, and I was hanging out with him more and asking him more questions, I became very interested in real estate because he lived a very lavish lifestyle, and he was like a very successful one. So I kind of looked up to him. I
Hmm.
asked one day if I could just come, to the office and ask him some questions and just shadow him. And I just ended up coming every single day, and he kept asking me to come back and help him with different things. So I was looking forward every day after lunch because I was able to leave school after lunch, just to go to the office and just be there and make phone calls and do whatever he needed me to do. That eventually led me to him asking me to be part of his personal team. And then right when I turned 18, I was able to get my real estate license. And he just pretty much just took me under his wing. And I'm very grateful for him. His name is Angel Hernandez. And he pretty much showed me the whole ropes. And that's pretty much how I got started in real estate.
Got you. Got you. And where did you meet this young man at?
So it was actually through my mom. My mom is a good friend with his wife, Patty. And they like ran into each other at the grocery store. And my mom was like, "Hey, Ashton needs a job," and she was like, "Oh, we'll have him come do open house signs for us," and that's how it worked out. Yeah,
Hey, they
yeah.
always say it's not what you know, it's who you know.
It's who you know. Yep, exactly. Yeah.
That's phenomenal. That's
Mhm.
phenomenal. So, during the time that he took you under his wing, when did you come to the realization that you wanted to be on your own, that you wanted to, step aside and, start your own thing? What happened?
Yeah, so I was actually on his team for probably about 2.5 years, maybe 3 years, like, off and on. But it really ended up being because of Posting Agent. I was working on his team, and I was, doing really well for myself. I was closing a lot of deals, but I had this idea of Posting Agent. I really wanted to pursue it. And I told myself that if we got to a certain amount of revenue per month or a certain amount of users, I would, go more full time with it and try to help out more real estate agents. So I reached that point, and I couldn't manage both because I was still doing some work for him and myself as well. So I had a conversation with him, and he totally understood. He was very happy with me. And yeah, that's how I kind of really understood. And then also, I felt like I was getting to a good point to where I had closed enough deals where I had a consistent flow of referrals and I was good enough on my own to cold call or just do some open houses and get some clients. So it really just all came together with posting agent and just referrals kind of coming to me where I felt comfortable going on my own. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
Gotcha. That's amazing. That's amazing. Shout out to your mentor for
yeah,
taking you under his wing and just showing you the game. It's made you into the guru that plus with you, extending your knowledge as well, doing your due diligence. So
100%. Yeah,
that's amazing. Shout out to both of you.
mhm. Yeah, definitely.
So tell me this. Did you always see yourself being an entrepreneur?
Absolutely. Yeah, I knew I never wanted to go to college or do any of that. I remember I was in class. I was in economics class one day, and my teacher, she was actually very wealthy herself, and she was just teaching for fun because she had some time on her hands. But she was teaching like the organic way of getting wealthy, where saving your money and being rich when you're 65 or 70 years old and when you retire. And I raised my hand and I was like, hey, what if I want to get rich today or this year or right after I graduate high school? And she couldn't answer my question. And I was very frustrated. And even my classmates were like, yeah, what if we don't want to wait till we're 70 years old
Right.
to be rich? So I was like, you know what? I'm not going that route. I'm going to find an immediate way to make a lot of money very quickly. And fortunately that was for real estate for me. And that's pretty much how I knew I didn't want to, do the organic route. Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
They can't answer questions that they don't know the answer to.
Correct. Correct. Yep. Yeah.
I'm so glad that you was like, yep, I don't think I want to be in this what you're doing. I don't That's not for me. So
Exactly.
I'm gonna take a different direction. So I love that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So tell us, what are some of the benefits of getting into real estate, such as maybe a new investor or somebody that's just new to real estate in general?
100%. So I've like a bunch of people have always asked me like, "Oh, do you feel like you should have went to college and maybe you missed out?" I see like I'll kind of break it into 2 points. The first one is like becoming a realtor and the second one is also investing in real estate. But the first one is like, me being a realtor at such a young age for those first 3 years was more experience than I could ever imagine than going to college.
Sure.
I learned business economics. I learned how to manage my own time. I learned how to sell. I learned how to, lead generate, which is the most important thing in business. I learned people skills. I learned how to communicate. I learned how to save money, do my taxes. And, I always tell people like, if you, want to get the most experience, don't go to college, go and work for a real estate agent, go work for, somebody that's, on their own because you're going to learn so much about yourself. I had
Yes.
a, major mental breakthrough where I was experiencing a lot of anxiety and depression. And I was able to get past that. So I
Right.
tell a lot of people like that was my college. So buddy that I'm that's interested in getting into real estate, I always tell them, if you do a year or two, maybe 3 years, maybe you don't like it, but I promise you're going to learn how to run any other business that you get into, because I wouldn't be able to run posting agent and be successful with my new business if I wasn't a real estate agent. Because at the end of the day, the same structure for all businesses are the same: lead generation and closing people, selling people on something, being personable with them, and being able to sell yourself is the same across all business. So that's my main tip for anybody that's looking to get into real estate is, even if you don't like it, I promise you're going to learn a lot of amazing things about the business world, and you're going to be able to take that onto another business or start something new on your own, or just be excelled in that area. And then as far as investing in real estate, I mean, I think it's kind of proven, and everybody knows that it's one of the best investments out there. Especially there's so many new ways of investing into real estate. I'm not the
Hmm.
best person, I would say, to ask about that, because that was never my specialty. I was more into just getting people into their first homes and
Okay.
getting people like that. But there's so many, I would say, other gurus on YouTube and people to look up to as far as investing in real estate. But of course, me myself, I'm always looking into investing into real estate, and it would always be something good for someone to look into for sure. Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Gotcha. Gotcha. And now, I think that's wonderful. The aspect that you said, the first part, you know, being in real estate, like, I guess not really investing, but being a real estate agent and just knowing all of those different steps that you need to develop and to, master. in order to run a successful business. So I didn't know that real estate taught you all of that. So that's amazing. You pretty
Yeah,
much got all in one.
all in one. Yeah, all in one. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Can't go wrong there.
Yeah, and you meet so many, different types of people as a real estate agent. Everybody's different. So like after, a couple years, you could pretty much handle the happy people, the sad people, the really mad people that might be at you. You learn how to just, handle all those objections and learn from what you did wrong. So it was a beautiful thing for sure. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, for sure. I believe it. And you get to help so many families and people.
Yes, 100%. That was the most fun part for me is that when, that new family gets their first home or whatever it might be, that younger family, that was my favorite part of being in real estate. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. So tell me this, Ashton, since you're more on the side of getting people into a new home or their first time home, got a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
So what are some things that you recommend for someone who maybe never bought their home before? What are some things that they need to get in place?
For sure, the first thing is like figuring out savings of and how much you need to do to buy your first home, right? Because I think a lot of people forget about some things that are part about the home buying process. They think it's just the down payment, but
Hmm.
obviously you have other closing costs involved. Obviously new things that you want to do to the house when you move in. There's going to be a couple $1,000s on that. So my every time that I get a new client, I really sit down and break down all the numbers with them. I'm like, hey, here's what it's going to take out of your pocket when we close escrow on how much you're going to need to buy this home. So that's the first thing I always do, is make sure that they have the savings and they're comfortable with that, because most of the time I'll start showing a client a new property and they get really excited. But when the sheet comes of all the numbers that they need, like, hey, why don't I don't have that quite yet? So that's the number one thing. The second is going to be also going to be credit. I tell all of my clients as well, like let's get you with my credit, lady. She's awesome. Let's just see what's going on, different things like that. And then also, let me think. There's so many ones that I always explain to them, but also like just their time frame. Like how quickly do you really want to move into a home? Because if you want to move in a month, I will get you a place, right? I'll work very quickly with you. But if you're taking 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, that's totally okay. But let's kind of plan that out and then make sure that we're both kind of using our time, in the best way. Yeah.
Right.
So most importantly is the cost and how much you have saved, and if you're really ready to get that out of your pocket and do it from there. Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Now, what do you say to someone that's maybe struggling with their credit a little bit and they want to purchase a home? What do you say to that?
Yeah, I mean, I have an amazing credit lady, who works with a lot of my clients because obviously, even me myself, I had some credit issues, not too long ago, and it wasn't even really my fault. But get with someone. My advice is get with someone that knows credit very well. That's get to work with you and is professional, because they can do some great things in like 3-4 months with your credit and get it back up. So my big tip is just get with someone that's a professional in the credit market, and that can help you out with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And by chance, did you recommend anyone that you may know?
Yeah, you know what? I could I'll give you or I'll email you all the information, and that way you could put it in the description and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashton.
Yeah.
And um, another question about first time owners. Let's say there was a couple, right, that
Mhm.
purchased a home, but technically one of the spouses is the one that purchased the home and the
Okay.
other spouse was just on the deed.
Okay.
The spouse that was just on the deed, would they be able to purchase a first time owner's home since they technically wasn't on the loan the first time?
Yes, correct. Yes, so they would be able to use. So each person can use the FHA financing, right? But also, there's so many new loan programs where, like a lot of people don't know about this, but obviously the FHA is the 3.5% down, but you could
Hmm.
always do like the conventional 3% down or conventional 5% down. So a lot of my clients, when they're worried about that, I'm like, hey, there's so many other loan programs out there that don't really worry about that, because there might even be a better loan program out there for you than using that 3.5% FHA, right? So
Hmm.
to answer your question, yes, they'll still be able to buy another house, from there. But yeah, I get that question a lot, and I'm always like, yeah, you can do that, but also don't worry about that too much, because there's so many other loan programs that would get you into, that are even better or similar to that. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. Because I know a lot of people feel like they're not qualified
Mhm,
anymore for the first time owners, like discounts
mhm.
and grants, stuff like that. So it's good to know that they still have that option, and there's
Yeah.
more programs now. With those programs, are those is that something that clients can look up on their own, or do they need to specifically speak with a real estate agent to get that information?
Yeah, you could definitely look it up on your own, but obviously too, like, it's like, for example, I have a lender that I work with primarily. His name is Mark, and, you know, some of the loan programs that they have is, not just out there on the internet and things. Like, it's like kind of moving some things around and doing different things. So I always recommend that if someone's interested in looking into different home programs, is either to call a lender or call a real estate agent that is connected with the lender, or maybe they're already real estate agent that they're working with, because they'll have a lot of things out there, and little, different things that they could do that won't be on the internet. So yeah, I would definitely reach out to a real estate agent. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Sounds good. Thank you,
Mhm.
Ashton.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So I had a question that I was always wondering, because I've heard a few people say this. So I want to know,
Okay.
is this true? Can
Okay.
you buy properties with no money? Is there actually a way to do that? I've heard from individuals that there's always ways around buying properties
Mhm.
without money. But I feel like, how is that even possible?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like no money, I'm trying to think like what there's a couple different ways of like what they can mean by that. Like one of them would be there's like a 0% down program for like for home buyers, but you have to meet certain requirements. But what they do is they put the down payment and the closing, or mostly just the down payment on top of the loan, right? And then you still have to pay for closing costs. So it's still like if you're buying like a $600,000 home, you're still coming out like $10,000, $15,000. That would be one way to buy a property without any money.
Hmm.
Another way that I hear that a lot on social media is a lot of these people that wholesale properties, and what they mean by that is that, I guess, I guess that wouldn't really mean buying a property without any money, but I'll explain that really quick. Is pretty much a wholesaler is just, I find a deal and I find a seller looking to sell his home for $400,000, and then I connect it with you, and I say, hey, this home's for sale for 450, and I connect you guys to, and then I keep that $50,000. So technically, I'm buying that home and putting it under contract for no money. I just found the deal, then I resold it to you, and then I get the difference. Um,
Mm.
and then I guess the third way to do buying a home without any money is getting like other investors involved and having them like back you, or give you some money to buy that. That would be like the only way that I really see, buying a home without any money. Yeah. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. Thank
Mhm.
you, Ashton. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about Posting Agent?
Yeah, definitely. So, Posting Agent is the first and only company that manages agent social media, but we create very specific content for them. So, for example, like we're in a bunch of different states, but in California, it's easy to explain. We have 65 content creators across the state of California, and what these
Wow.
content creators do is they go to a bunch of open houses over the weekend and take
Hmm.
property tour videos of local open houses, and then we use these property tour videos to post for our agents that are in that specific area. So we're one of the first ever companies that creates content for our agents, but we're creating real life local property tour content for them. And the idea behind this is that when we're posting these property tours on agents' accounts, it starts conversations for them. People are saying, "Hey, where is this property located? What's the
Right.
price? How many bedrooms?" And that way they're able to continue the conversation from there, and close a transaction through social media. And the way that we kind of came up with that is that's what I was doing on my own social media pages as a real estate agent. Is I was going out and doing these local property tours in my area and showing my followers what's on the market, and I was able to close a lot of deals through that. So I was like, hey, why is nobody else doing this? So let's create a product and help them out with this, because it is difficult to do. It's time consuming. So,
Yes.
a lot of these social media companies that post for real estate agents just do blog posts and, pull from the internet and pull pictures. We're the only company that goes out into the field and creates content for them and post local content without them having to do a single thing. We also help them grow a following across all their social media platforms. So we do a really cool method where We will find people that are local in your area by going to like the local police department, a local restaurant's Instagram page, and we will engage with all the people that follow that other local account because most likely those people are local in your area. So every day we're engaging with about 50 to 100 people for them. That way they get anywhere from like 200 to 400 followers per month of people that are local in their area.
That's
And yeah,
awesome.
that's like a quick rundown of what we do. We do a little bit more, but that's like the basis of what posting agent is. And we charge $99 a month, and we do offer a 30-day free trial. So we want everyone to try us out, see how you like us, and then you can kind of go from there. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
That's amazing, Ashton.
yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Just that was just an idea that you just created the whole business with. Like
Correct. Yeah, yeah. And it kind
I
of
feel
blew up.
like those be the best businesses.
For sure, 100%. And we grew very quickly. Like we have been only in business about probably a year and a half, and we're now
Wow.
2,600 agents and across about 11 different states. So
Wow.
we plan to be in all 50 states by the end of this year. Yeah, yeah,
Yes. Yes. I love
yeah.
that. I love that. So tell me this, Ashton.
Mhm.
Do you only work with real estate agents or do you work with like just normal people as well
So
that's in the market to purchase homes?
yeah, as far as posting agent, you're saying, or are you saying
Yes,
okay?
posting agent.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so for posting agent, so primarily our focus is real estate agents, and that's who we post for. But also we do work with other small businesses or other businesses in general. Our concept with them is just a little bit different. So for any other business that's not a real estate agent,
Hmm.
we're going to help you grow your following on social media, along with
Hmm.
helping you grow your Google My Business account. So what we do is we post very frequently onto your Google My Business page and help you grow your like Google SEO and your Google presence, while also starting you some more conversations on Instagram and Facebook by engaging with people for you. Yeah.
Got you. Got you. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Mhm.
That's awesome. You're taking
Yeah.
all the work, away from them because social media is a job. Okay.
Yeah. It's a huge job. It's a huge job and it's a lot of work. Yeah.
It is a lot of work, especially when you're a content creator and you wearing all the hats in your business. It can get, I know, it can
Yeah.
be consuming for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of these companies are charging like $400 a month, $1,000 a month, and they're not doing the greatest work. So I wanted to be as affordable as possible and almost be like a social media assistant for you, but do the real life, good things that somebody needs. Like I was looking so long for somebody, when I was in real estate, just to manage my Instagram, not by posting it, but just like engaging with people and liking their posts
Right.
and commenting on their posts, maybe even DMing some people. So, that's what
Right.
I preach a lot about our services. Like, hey, every single day, it's going to make it seem like you're engaging with 50 to 100 people per day without you having to do a single thing. Imagine how many contacts and how many connections you're going to have, each
For
month if we're
sure.
doing that for you, which is awesome. Yeah,
Yes, it's
yeah,
amazing. It's amazing. And I
yeah.
love the fact that you undercut the market,
Mhm.
that you're not charging this huge expensive amount, to work with you. And you
Yeah,
made it so affordable. So shout out to you, Ashton.
yeah. Thank
I
you.
love that. I love
Thank you.
that. You killing. You killing
Thank
it.
you.
So let's see. What are some things that have changed in the real estate industry
Yeah.
since you were 18 to now?
Yeah, great question. So obviously, like right when I got into, a couple years in, COVID hit, right? Which everyone, and I'm not gonna spend too much time on that, but right when COVID hit, everyone was kind of like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And it
Mhm.
was kind of at a standstill. But then
Mhm.
rates just continued to drop, and we were at like the 2.5, 2.6, 3%, which is like crazy as an interest rate. So the first thing that I'm gonna say that has changed is definitely interest rates. Now we're seeing like mid fives, low fives. Yeah, yeah. Well, which is nuts because that doubles your payment.
Payment.
Which is saying, but
Yeah.
obviously, to justify that, prices have dropped a little bit, not as much as they should, but they have dropped a little bit, and more inventory has been out there. But historically, a rate at 5% is still an amazing rate. I think when my parents bought their home, their rate was like 17%, and I was like, that's insane. That's crazy.
I
So,
know.
yeah, which is nuts. So, obviously, the 5% is still a great rate, but that's the number one thing that's changed. Obviously, rates have hiked a little bit. Um, and the next thing I would say is obviously inventory. When we were in COVID and right out of COVID, there was no homes for sale. Like everybody,
None.
none. It was
I was
crazy.
looking.
Yeah, yeah, it was crazy. And obviously there was multiple offers on every single home that was out there, and prices were crazy, and people were outbidding. That's definitely slowed down a lot. But we are still seeing on some of these, better looking homes and these better deals, there are multiple offers still, 10, 30 offers, which is crazy. But yeah, that's the two things that I'll say that have changed dramatically is rates and then obviously inventory, and that's slowing down a little bit.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Thank you for that
yeah,
update,
yeah.
Ashton. Are you suffering from breakage, dryness, or maybe a lack of a hair regimen? Well, if so, purchase your Texture Hair 101 ebook today and never suffer again. Learn everything that you need to learn right inside of this book today. Grab yours now. When it comes to purchasing real estate, would you say that it's more beneficial to go in with someone else, like a collab, or what do you
Um,
think?
I would say no. I've had that question a lot in the past. Is like when my clients wanted to purchase with somebody. It really just depends on what you're doing. If that's your goal, if you have a partner and you're wanting to buy multiple investment properties, and obviously, but if you feel like you could do it yourself and
Hmm.
maybe you just need a little bit, maybe one more year to save a little bit more money, I always tell people like, do it yourself. Get that first one under your belt with you, and then maybe explore your options after that first one. Because I want the person to get the whole experience of buying a property and being a homeowner, because you learn a lot from that experience. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, for sure, for sure.
Mhm.
And another question I had about posting agent, I wanted to know what states are you currently in?
Yeah. So we are in California, Arizona, Nevada, Oregon, Washington, Texas, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, and that's the states that we're in right now. We're in 9 states, but we're planning on being in 11 at this month. We're going into Idaho and I believe Michigan. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Look
Yeah.
at you.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. That's amazing. I'm
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Illinois here.
Yeah. No, and if obviously if you're but this also goes for that's only for real estate agents. So if you're a small business and anybody's watching out there that's a small business or maybe just a business owner or something else,
Mhm.
we could work with you no matter what state you're in. That those states that
Oh,
we're in only are for real estate agents because we get content creators that get local content for you, and that's why we can only work with the
those
states that we're in
states.
for real estate agents. Yeah, correct.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah,
Okay. You heard Ashton.
yeah,
You can work with him if you're anywhere, if
correct.
you're not a real estate agent. So that's awesome. I'm so glad I asked you
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great question.
Amazing.
Mhm.
Amazing. Okay. So I would like to know what is one thing that you found challenging in the real estate industry
Great question.
that you've overcome?
That I've overcome for sure. I think the number one thing is like time management is
Yes.
is the number one thing I struggled with so long. For so long I was working every single day and being a yes man to all of my clients because I thought that's what I needed to be and that they would leave
Hmm.
me if I wasn't. But then I quickly came to realize that it's okay to say no and say that you're busy or that you're with some family this weekend or whatever it might be because people understand that. So
Right.
that's I think a lot of people struggle with that is don't think that you have to overextend yourself because they're still going to be with you if you are build a relationship with them and don't think that you're going to lose them if you need some time to yourself. Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Mhm.
Now, was there a method that you kind of went with for your time management, or you just kind of like set boundaries?
I took off Sundays and Mondays. That was like my weekend because obviously on Saturdays you want to do some open houses because that was a huge part of my business. But I took off Sunday, Mondays. So anybody out there that take off one day and then maybe go to 2 days and see how you feel with that. But yeah, Sundays and Mondays were my days to relax, and that was my method from there. Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah,
need those days to just break, relax, let our mind clear
yeah.
out. We need those self-care days.
Definitely, 100%. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. This has been phenomenal, Ashton. I really, really got a lot of information from you. So I really, really appreciate you blessing
yeah,
us with all of this information. I love Posting Agent. That's a
yeah.
phenomenal business. You
Thank
are a
you.
genius for creating that. So why don't you tell the people where they can find you,
Yeah,
what you got coming up,
yeah.
and how they can work with you.
Definitely. Yeah. So first you could connect with me on my personal Instagram, which is Ashton Real Estate. That's my real estate profile. You could also follow us on Posting Agent. We have an Instagram there as well. And you could go to our website, which is thepostingagent.com. If you want to get started with Posting Agent on our website, we offer a 30-day free trial and you could try it out for 30 days and see how you like it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We also have a YouTube channel as far as Posting Agent. I have a lot of like training videos on there if you want to learn how to do some stuff on social media. So you could subscribe there and watch our videos. And yeah, you could DM me. I'll respond right away. I responded to Ty pretty quickly, and we got this going. So I'm available for anything, and even just a phone call if someone needs it.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashton.
Yeah.
Really appreciate this interview. Thank you so much for being with us today, sharing some of your time with us. Really appreciate you. I wish you nothing but success on, all of your future endeavors and with Posting Agent. And much love to you.
Thank you, Ty, so much. You're a great interviewer, and I hope to be on the podcast another day soon. We'll do another one.
Yes, we'll have
Yes,
to catch up in maybe like 6 months or so to see
let's
what's going on.
let's do it. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay,
All
awesome.
right.
Awesome. Me too.
Thank you
Well,
so much.
that's been the Naturally Yours podcast, y'all. Thank you and have a wonderful day.